So this is a slight addendum to the first part, whatever, before you see this. Halfway through this video, you're going to hear me say, Crystal, I can't hear you, I think Discord's fucked up. And it did, she comes back. But I'm just going to say, at that point, that was the point where it affected this entire video. Like, the entire audio has gone completely to shit. It's still there, I still salvaged it, but it was supposed to have 3 layers. It was supposed to have my audio, Crystal's audio, and in-game audio. And when Discord crashed, it just like melded all 3 tracks together and it sounded like shit. I at first tried to chop it up and it sounds alright, but Crystal sounds loud. Then I tried to basically pull apart each one, and that works a lot better from the second half, so she appears a lot quieter. And then you'll hear me near the end being like, oh, well, this is just perfect. Like, something about near the end, because it fucked up the footage a little bit as well, so there's going to be a bit of Fortnite footage where, because I get so far through Fallout, and you'll see it, and then after that point where it starts to fuck up, it's like, oh crap, well, I'm just going to have to throw a bit of Fortnite gameplay up, which is where I'm still talking to Crystal. And at one point, I'm dropping onto a set of houses called Snobby Shores. You'll see it on the map, and I'm like, oh, that's just perfect. And it's at that point where I realised that that one moment from Discord where it fucks up is where it kind of like fucked the entire recording. Don't worry, the second part with Fiora is completely fine, and that shit's all good. Like, that's perfect. But this one, that one Discord hiccup was like, yeah, screwed it. So, yeah, enjoy to the best of your ability, and thank Discord for just having to crash and mess everything up. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fallout 4 by committee. So, in the last stream, we discovered the railroad, I guess. We gotta speak to this guy, but we're not speaking to this guy. Because you see, I've got word. First of all, the committee's not here, so they won't be choosing the levels as we go. And we're also not streaming. How could you call it by a committee stream if you're not streaming? Well, you see, I've heard of a magical place. I don't know of this place, but I've heard of a magical place where there's some people and they can tell you how to find the infinite possibilities and potential of oneself. And that sounds like a really good thing. It's on a faraway island or something, so we gotta go buy a ticket. So we're gonna do that. Okay, no, but in fairness, you obviously have seen the title, that it doesn't say Fallout 4 anymore, it says Fallout 76. So, like, joking story reason, we are going to, you'll see how the joking story narrative ends and how 76 begins. But actual me talking to you reason is, I have 2 things to make before Fallout 76. So, this first part is going to be me and Crystal talking about expectations. That's why it says expectations. And you're just going to watch me walk all the way, how do I get the map up? You're just going to watch me walk all the way over to Far Harbour to where we've got to go for the next part. And during this walk, you're going to hear me and Crystal talking about expectations of Fallout 76. Now, this was before we knew anything. Like, we'd seen the E3 trailer, and we'd seen that there was a couple of bits and pieces that we could very easily misinterpret. Like, nobody knew anything. It's just like, hey, you can kill people. All right. Well, how's killing people work? Like, what is the raider equivalent? Can you be a raider? How does raiding work? Like, what's going on? Give me some details here. So that was basically what this part's going to be about. So you're going to hear me and Crystal talking about our expectations. Then in the next part, when we get to Far Harbor and we're going to where we have to go in Far Harbor, you're going to hear mine, Flick, and Fiora's reality. Like, after we've heard that raiding and PvP will be heavily punished and everything else. So, yeah. Ah, fucking raiders. Speaking of raiders, hey! You can't be doing that! This is not PvP friendly. You're gonna get punished. You're gonna get punished, my friend. You can't do that shit. I'm out of bullets or whatever. We'll just let them be. Yeah, thanks, dude. We're just gonna let you be for now. So, yeah, can I run, please? I need to run away from these guys. So yeah, you're gonna hear me and Crystal now. Holy fuck! Just let me get the hell out of here, dude. I'm trying to explain to the audience, and you're here shooting at me, being a little bitch. But yes, you're going to hear me and Crystal talk about our expectations on the walk. Then the next one, you're going to hear me, Flick, and Fiora talk about reality and what that reality actually entailed and why it kind of was like, oh dear. And then you're going to see us all play it. But I was like, if we're going to combine these, because who knows? Maybe it could be good. Maybe we're all going to like it. And maybe we'll keep it going. If not, it's fine. But I might as well just have this kind of flow in. Because if it just flows in, then if it's bad, we can just come back to Fallout 4 by committee. If it's good, it'll stay as 76. We don't know yet. So for now, just sit back, relax, and listen to me and Crystal talking about our expectations before we knew anything was coming, while I walk us over to where Far Harbor is going to activate when I actually buy the DLC, because obviously I haven't bought it yet. That bit at the beginning was just spliced in. That's a floating tree, though. Just before we start, can we just, like, address the floating tree in the sky? Can we just get a good look at this before I switch the audio over? Bethesda. You never fail. Oh, no, it's dropped back down onto the ground. That was the tree. It's just like back down onto the ground. God damn, Bethesda. You can always be counted on for the bugs, can't you? We're not even like one episode back and we already just caught a glimpse of a floating tree before it just like snapped back to reality. Good job. So, yeah, where the hell am I going? I'm going to have a quick check, and I'm going to pass that over to past Spyro and Crystal.
Well, as an avid Fallout...
That's the whole point that I don't like about this type of situations. And this is just my personal opinion about this type of situation, because to me, judging a game like, oh, you're not a Fallout game, or you are not X type of game, when I haven't even played it, when I haven't even seen what the final product is, to me that's just bullshit. I understand why they do it. I understand why they do it.
The thing is,
because
I will disagree with you there, because I've got the perfect example of my own, which is
I wanna hear it.
Which is Metroid Federation Force. Like, you know what Metroid is.
Yes.
Right, so you obviously understand. You go around a big map, you backtrack, you find power-ups. It's a Metroid game. You know what a Metroid is.
Yes.
For Samus's 30th anniversary, for Metroid's 30th anniversary, Nintendo really didn't care, and they shit out a game called Metroid Federation Force. You didn't play as Samus. There wasn't a single Metroid in it. And the gameplay was basically just Halo Reach. It was a third-person to first-person shooter. It didn't have any adventure in it. It was just linear corridors. It was not a Metroid game in the slightest. And you didn't need to play the game to see that. You saw it in all the trailers. You saw it in any preview footage they showed. It's just like...
Yeah, but I agree. This is a complete change of stuff. It's a complete change. Now let's put on Fallout, and I agree with you. That was not a Metroid game in style. It was a Metroid game in history because it still had part of the history of Metroid. So in a sense, it is a Metroid game, but not in a playing sense, not in a gameplay sense. So yeah, I agree with you. But now let's go to this. What makes a Fallout game a Fallout? What makes Fallout games to be a Fallout game? And I want to hear your opinion because you have played them.
Right, I know.
I want your opinion, then I want you to tell me hers.
Okay, my opinion of what makes a Fallout game is being in a post-apocalyptic landscape where your main goal is whatever the narrative tells you the narrative is, be it rescue your son, find the man that shot you, and across your journey you will meet several colourful characters that you will grow to love and bond with, and these characters will also aid you in your quest, provide you with side quests, and overall you'll be going on an adventure.
Okay, so your 3 points is post-apocalyptic setting, a directed narrative with the finding of extra colorful characters, and the adventuring.
And, well, as an extra, an RPG karma-based system as well, which is the big bone of contention for multiple people.
Okay, well, it has always had the RPG elements in it since the first one with the strategy, with the turnout and stuff like that. Okay, but you have those points there. Now tell me, which of those points is not present in Fallout 76?
There are no NPCs is the first one.
Do we know that for sure?
Have
they confirmed that?
This is now confirmed. Many big sites like IGN have got hold of the beta to review. Several people that pre-ordered the game have got the beta to review, and there are 0 NPCs. All quests are given via a computer. Like the very first mission, you are told that you have to find the overseer of the vault. You are told to find the overseer by text on a computer, and then
okay, so we lost the NPCs.
Yes.
Everything else still stands.
No, you see the
why
next,
not?
Because the next part of the whole RPG thing, it was already kind of fucked in Fallout 4. Is now without NPCs, there is no longer anybody to role play with. So your role playing's gone, and the karma-based system is no longer present. Like, it wasn't present in Fallout 4, which again a lot of people hated because your actions wouldn't have consequence like in New Vegas or Fallout 3, but now it's completely gone because you can't have these moral dilemmas whether to save or kill Sanctuary because there's no one to kill or to save.
Okay. Fair enough. You still have the other 2 points. Do they still stand? You are still in a post-apocalyptic setting. You're still going in adventuring.
I mean, 1 point is a somewhat stand. You are still going on an adventure, but the adventure was discovering settlements and places and people to enrich that adventure. And without that enrichment, you kind of lose part of what made Fallout.
But do we know for certain that there won't be any type of discoveries while you are out there? You need to rebuild your bases, you need to do a lot of things. There's still things, and this is why I hate on people that judge things without even trying it. Because you say, it's not a Fallout game, blah 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 blah. But maybe this will be a new type or a different type of Fallout game. People shit on 3 when the conversion was made from a point-and-click up-down view to the action adventure type. People shit on it. And then people loved it. So there's the point. Do not judge something just because it looks different or it feels different or maybe it lost some of the things it used to have. Maybe it's for the better. Wait until the game is out before judging. And judge by yourself because a lot of people end up judging based on others. And that's not something you should do. If you want to judge something, judge it yourself, not by the word of others.
That's true, but I do see where some people...
Yeah. And that's something I say as well. I understand their point. I understand why they say the things they say. I understand why you may think that this game may not be as good of a Fallout game as the others because you gave me the valid points. It lost this, it lost that. It doesn't feel like I'm going to be playing a normal Fallout game. But then again, this is not a normal Fallout game. It's a different kind.
Yeah.
And if you want to go back to the example that you used with Metroid Federation Forces, it happened exactly the same thing when Metroid Prime came out.
But people love Metroid Prime because it still had Samus.
But people hated Metroid Prime when it came out.
No.
Yes. The backlash it had was impressive. It was a backlash so strong that you say, what the fuck were they thinking? They are about to kill one of their best franchises. The game comes out, people start playing it, people start saying, oh my fucking god, this game is amazing. Yes, we can accept this as the new type of Metroid.
I mean, the slight key difference is there was still, like, in England at least, the backlash wasn't as immense as you're saying.
In the US, they were destroying the game, like literally destroying.
Because at the end of the day, while it was very different and it garnered some, like, ooh, I don't know, there was still things in the gameplay that made it look like Metroid. There was still Metroids. You were still playing as Samus. There was still a very big open map that you will have to backtrack through, and you were still acquiring powers along the way.
Exactly. But those things that made Fallout for those type of things are still there. There will be a map you need to explore, there will be a huge place to discover, there will be things to find, there will be things to build, there are no NPCs, but there are missions, there are things to go, and now you can actually do other stuff by having people with you doing them. You now have your friends along the way.
Yeah, but without NPCs, it's going...
Yes, it feels bland. I agree, it feels bland. That was a bad choice. That was a very bad choice. It feels bland, it feels like something is missing. But the game is still going to be a Fallout game. It's just going to be a different Fallout game. Will it be good? Will it be bad? Time will tell. Once it's out. Not before.
Well, to say, like, I've watched a few of the early access reviews from the...
Yeah, but is the early access going to remain like that? Is that the final beta?
You see, that's the thing that it's the company that now has to take the bullet, because the complaints have been put forward that no NPCs kind of fuck it, this kind of fucks it, that kind of fucks it. And it's fine to lay out the complaints, but now will Bethesda fix them? Like, I don't know, considering, like, Bethesda's track record, I don't know if I can trust Bethesda enough to know that they're actually going to address these issues, or if they're just going to be like, whatever.
Well, maybe the NPC thing may not be addressed because, let's be honest, changing a whole game to add all of that when you already have the quest system in the computer and all of that, it's hard. You will need to revamp the game. You need to recode the game to include all of that. You need to do it. Because there are no models. You need to include all the models, you need to code them, you need to make sure they work. It's a lot of work that maybe there is not enough time right now. Maybe in a later patch, they can add them. Maybe then they can add them. But right now it will be pressing it a little bit too much. The rest of it, your actions have consequences, the things like that, the karma system and stuff, that may be able to be added without that much trouble. Because you are trading with other people. This is an MMO. You are with other people, you are together or shitting yourselves together, whichever the one you want to do and stuff. Yes, you are there that exists. So it's going to be a different experience.
And that kind of brings up the next point, which is like too many people can fuck it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, playing a Fallout with your friends is
one thing.
Is
playing with strangers? Oh my god.
Well, it's not only that. Like, if you play a post-apocalyptic game with a few friends, like a few of you came out of a vault, that's fine. But when you make an entire server all living people, it's not really a Fallout game to a degree in the narrative, because the point of Fallout is that sense of isolation. The world has...
Yeah, but there was supposed to be like 100 people per vault, right?
Yeah, but there's only one vault. And, like... You know, because everybody's coming out of Vault 76, technically, and...
Okay. So, just clear me this out before we continue. Is the game going to be like a normal MMO world? Well, every single player is going to play in the exact same server and there won't be different server?
Oh no, I don't know about the different server thing. No one's addressed that yet, because obviously...
Not enough people to make a test.
Yeah, there's only the reviewers, and they've only played on the test server.
But every single one of the reviewers was in the same server?
Yes, because...
How many people was that?
About 50. So it was like 2 or 3 people from...
Yeah, it's not really that many.
Yeah, it's like 2 or 3 people from IGN, a couple of people from...
and you had a decent amount of people. Like they say, okay, it's 50 people coming out of this vault, and that's it. It still holds with the narrative. But I get what you're saying. When everybody else gets the game, is everybody going to play in the same world? Am I going to share a vault with 3 million people? Yeah, that seems to break it a lot.
Yeah.
So I would rather prefer it to be servers, like they say, okay, you're going to be connected into a server and you will have another 50 people in that server, and that's it. No more people can join after those 50 slots are filled. And have dedicated servers to have plenty servers for the people to play.
Well, I mean, the other thing, which even the reviewers didn't get to see, and this is like both mine and Fiora's reason for huge skepticism about the whole Fallout thing, is the launch code.
Oh, the you can nuke the bases, right?
Yeah, and like they have introduced the whole base building aspect type thing, and like that's fine, that's great. Oh look, we've got the whole base building thing. It's all lovely, it's all fine.
So
but
the reviewers got to see that part, the base building.
Yeah, like apparently that's just the same as it was in
Fallout 4.
Yeah, Fallout 4, except a little bit improved. But we've seen we've seen from things like E3, if a certain person gets a launch code, they can drop the bomb literally on any part of the map. And the idea is that part of the map gets blasted and irradiated, higher level mutated monsters spawn there, but they drop better loot. In theory, that's a good idea, but
you can drop it in people's bases.
Yeah, and in practice though, like, I'm sorry, Bethesda, but not everybody is a happy, like,
a nice person.
Like, yeah, and people might destroy your hard work just to simply spite you.
Yes.
And like,
this is why I say it needs to have dedicated servers like Ark does, like Conan does, where there is a certain number of people.
But even
those
then,
servers need to be locked down by some way, because getting griefers on the servers.
No, but even then though, because like, if it's a select 50, even if it's 50 people, you don't know who's in that 50, and there could be very easily one of those 50 that is like, I'm going to find all the parts of that launch code and I'm going to be a dick to somebody.
Well, yeah, but then again, when there's just 50 people or 100 people in the server, that becomes part of the narrative, because that's part of what would have happened if the situation was real. Even if you were put into a bowl with another 100 people and then tasked to rebuild the world, how do you know that one of those people wouldn't go insane and just start nuking everybody else? It's a good narrative.
It's not a good. It might be.
Yes, it is.
Maybe
it's going to be pissing people off because their hard work is going to be destroyed. But that depends on how hard it is to build the bases.
But you have to think of it from the other perspective, though. For like those that are wanting to have the rebuild the world narrative, the narrative that has been set up at E3, like you're here to rebuild the world. Someone might take days building their house. Someone might take days building the base for that particular set of team members, and it might be really damn good. Like, it might be one of the most impressive, Super Minecraft builds that took them a week to make, and then
or more.
Yeah. And then poof, that's just gone. Like, that'd be enough.
And what's going to happen if the building is really hard, getting materials is really hard, and things are complicated? The only thing that's going to happen is that Bethesda is going to lose players.
You've got it in one. Like, people will have spent so much time on that base, and then poof, it's just gone in an instant. You're going to feel so fucking pissed and so distressed, and you're going to be like, that's enough for me.
Yeah, exactly. If they don't, there has to be a balance. Yes, it's fun to destroy and to rebuild and to play around with that. Yes, I agree. It can be really fun. It can be really interesting to play around with that. But at the same time, you have to make sure that the players that want to build, that the players that want to make things prosper and stuff, don't get grieved by the nuclear launches. You have to make sure they don't get fucked up by that, because they will quit and they will leave.
And I mean, the biggest one hasn't been answered yet, the one that you're still asking, how many people are on a server? Because
exactly.
What happens if it's a bit like World of Warcraft?
Can I make a small server with my friends just to build? Or just a friendly competition, like let's say I have 6 people in the server and we fuck each other, but we know not to take it seriously. We know not to build massive bases because we're gonna be nuking each other, we're gonna be doing that. But that's something planned between friends. It's different than when someone you don't know does it to you.
No, but not even that. Like, imagine there's me, you and Flick, 3 people, and we're in one of these big servers, and we find.
Let's say it's everybody from this server. Like
No. I'm just gonna do 3 because I want to have the unknown element. Just say it's me, you, and Flick, right? So the 3 of us have got out the vault. We're starting our adventure, and we meet some more people, and they're complete randoms. It's somebody we don't know. It's John, Dave, and Tim, and we get to know John, Dave, and Tim. So we join up, and then the 6 of us meet Alistair, Pizza, and somebody else. Like, we keep meeting people, and eventually we get like a community of, let's say, 20 people, right? So we've got a community of 20 people, and then we all start building a village. Not just one base, a village. And then
a large thing.
Yeah, and then that gets nuked. Like, you're not just fucking over one set of people like me, you, and Flick, you've just actively fucked over 20 people in one go.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It needs to be, there needs to be a reason for it, and there needs to be a limit on what can be done and how it can be done. Because if getting the codes is fucking easy, then people are going to be knocking left and right. And that's just going to grieve people and make people quit the game faster than they were trying to buy it.
Yeah.
And that is going to shit on Bethesda because it...
Oh, you might have to say again. I think something's frozen. Oh, Jesus. Go on. Hello, Crystal? Crystal? Sounds died. Let me disconnect and reconnect.
Hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. But yeah, go
Oh
on.
my fucking god. Yeah, what I was saying was basically, oh my god, that Princess Luna speak is really good, but I just saw the Twilight. Okay, what I was saying is that if they don't put a limit or make it, they need to do one of two things. Either put a very strict limit on how to use the nukes, or make base building extremely easy. Like, you can build and rebuild complicated structures in no time. You don't even feel the loss when it's nuked and all of that. Because if they don't do that, they are going to lose every single player. And next time Bethesda wants to launch a new game, the players are going to be like, you fucked us in this one. I am not buying your new game. Fuck you.
I mean, I'll tell you, like, exactly how this should play out. I'll tell you the one item, and it's only one item, and it'd be very easy. I would tell you exactly how you fix this. I mean, my issue does have another problem, but all you'd have to do is build or add an item that builds a force field around a certain patch of land, and then that particular piece of land cannot be nuked, and that's where you build your base.
Can the force field be destroyed?
No.
Then I don't agree.
No, because then if the force field was destroyed, you could have two people saying, right, I'll destroy the force field, and then you nuke it.
No. That's the point. The force field can only be destroyed by a certain amount of nukes. Make it like it can take several nukes.
But
And then you need to go out and rebuild your force field.
Maybe, but that also
that gives purpose for both sides. Because if there, imagine, like you say, you build a clan and stuff. By the way, hi Blaine, we did hear you. Sorry, hi.
Mojiboro,
yes, Blame.
why you don't finish Mojiboro?
Because we're talking about Fallout 76.
Yeah, but let's take it like this. Your group, you grouped out with another 10 people, and your group is 15 people, and you decide that you and the other people, let's say there's another 50 people group and a 20 people group, and you start to compete for resources, you start to fight over things and that, blah 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 blah. It happens all the time in this kind of games. It happens all the time. Let's say you build the force field in your base to protect it.
What
And-
the thing?
Poor Flick. And after you build the force field,
I came here.
yeah, go ahead, finish.
I came here to say hello, Mr. Blair, and the moment I joined, he leaves. What a dick.
It happens. But then again, you build your force field, you start to work on it, you create it, and then you start a war, and the others go like, okay, then I'm going to nuke you. Oh, but your force field can take, like, say 5 nukes. Then I have to work to get 5 codes in order to destroy your force field before I can fight with you.
I see where you're coming from, but then that also comes to like the problem. People are going to stream this game, or YouTube this game, whichever. And if you are famous, then you have the problem of stream sniping. Like if you build,
but that's what happened with Ark, and that's something they need to deal with. If you wanna stream the game, you're gonna have to deal with it.
but you shouldn't have
And it's
to.
gonna be bad. It's going to be bad.
No, but you shouldn't have to deal with it to that degree.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Bethesda needs to make it so that things are fair for both sides, because there is going to be people that want to play the bad guy, that want to play the guys that want to shit the world. There's going to be a lot of people like that, but there's going to be people that want to build, that want to have fun, that want to enjoy the game without fucking each other up. So you need to make it fair for both sides, but you need to be sure to make it easy and nice for the ones that don't want to fuck others up, because once the nukes start coming down, they're just going to be grieved as hell, and that's going to lose you players over and over and over and over.
Yeah, and this is where I bring the whole stream sniping thing in, because, like, alright, imagine you're streaming this, and you say they need 5 nukes. Well, that's simple. If people are going to be actively out to get this streamer, and just make the stream fucking miserable, so he's just trying to entertain people, but you're setting out to make this guy's stream, you're going to ruin this guy's stream live and make it a fucking miserable time. Well, you just get 6 codes. You fire 6, well, that's it. The base can only take 5, or the force field can only take 5. The 6th one destroys the base, and you're like, why is everybody out to get specifically me? And then they're not going to have a good time. They're going to quit streaming. All of those fellow like watchers, the people watching that guy, are going to realize how shit the game is, and
not gonna get the game.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's something that should be on Bethesda to deal with, not on the streamers, as you say, because it's not the streamer's fault.
And that's
it's
what.
Just an asshole. It's just an asshole.
And that's why I say that you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have a.
A limited force.
Limited force field, because at that
I
point.
get it, but well, then how about this? There can only be one code for nukes at any given time, and only one can be active in a set amount of time. Like, let's say you can only drop a nuke once a week.
No, I'd say once a day is fine.
And keep the force fields limited, but repairable.
Yeah, I'd say that's fine. And if it was that, I'd say you could drop one every 24 hours.
Fair enough. One every 24 hours, and make the force fields repairable. That if you get nuked, you can repair it. No problem. The materials have to be somewhat complicated to get or to craft, but you can do it.
Yeah.
If you can build a force field, you can repair it. That needs to be the premise. And only be able to drop a nuke every 12 to 24 hours.
I'd say 20.
That would be the minimum. The minimum.
I would
And
say
the codes
24.
need to be hard to find. Getting the codes needs to be the hardest thing in the game.
Yeah, definitely. Well, from what we've seen, you need 5. It's like Exodia. You need 5 pieces.
Yeah, but those pieces need to be in the most inhospitable areas, in the hardest things to do. They need to be like, if I want to grieve people, I have to spend my fucking life in this game. That's what it needs to be like.
Yeah.
Because if it's not like that, it's just going to make people quit the game. Like, okay, Bethesda needs to say, okay, you wanna play the asshole and drop nukes on people's bases? Fine, you are gonna have to work your ass for it.
Yeah. Well, you see, that's how it should be, because, like, you know,
Yeah, exactly. If they do that, allow it. If they are not willing to do that, then make places where bases are impossible to nuke.
like, no, I agree with you that it should be hard, because it's like, you know, the Undertale Genesis route. It's fucking hard. And at the end of the Genesis route, you're basically called an asshole. You get no reward.
Yeah.
So like if you are gonna set out to grief, then you're right. The code should be ridiculously hard to get, and you should be called an asshole the whole way through.
Yeah. And if the codes are not going to be that hard to get, and there's no limit to the amount of that can be dropped, blah 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 blah, in a day or things like that,
It's
then
gonna be fucking madness.
bases should be off the radar for nukes. You should not be allowed to drop a nuke on bases.
Yeah.
At the same time, there should be spaces where you cannot build bases, like to reserve spaces for dropping the nukes to create the super mutants and stuff like that. Agreed. But other than that, either they make the codes like the fucking hardest thing to get and allow you to get some protection for your base, or they just not allow bases to be destroyed, because it's going to be at least not with nukes. If you want to grief someone by destroying their base, make it hard. Make it like you have to launch a fucking army at the base to try to destroy it. Give them a chance to fight each other.
You see, yeah, and you see this comes up to the other point of what people will be on at different times. So what if everybody is asleep and then somebody comes into your base? Like, you've got no way of protecting it.
Yeah, there needs to be ways to protect. Yeah, I do agree. There needs to be ways to protect him, and I hope they will implement them. Because if not, the game is going to suffer what Ark suffered, Reefers, and people are going to quit the game. Because that's what made people quit mostly Ark. Because the game was too hard. It was too much time to build. It was too much time to tame. And it got to the point where if someone managed to get a large dino, a Bronto, a Tyrannosaurus, stuff like that, they could just trample your base in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Because the dinosaurs just walked over the things and destroyed them. It was stupid.
And I think this comes to the other problem though, that's not what people. Fuck's sake! Why are there always enemies on our bloody side? I just want to do the weekly challenges. But yeah, and I think that comes to the other point is this is what people are not expecting from Fallout. With games like Conan Exiles, for example, it's billed as a brand new game and you are going to be going onto a server if you so choose. People will attack you. People will, you're fucking barbarians. People are going to attack your village. They are going to raid you. You have to be ready. But
but that's the premise of Conan.
Yeah, not the premise of Fallout. And it's like
Exactly.
I hear fucking Todd Howard's thing of but there's raiders in the game, and it's like, right, but there's no actual, like, the raiders don't raid in a way of like absolutely decimate. They come, they kill you, and they steal some guns and shit, not like blow up all your hard work.
Yeah, and the fact that someone can come and blow up your everything you worked for a month, it's just not appealing. As a gamer, that's not appealing.
Oh, this will work out perfectly. See, like, raiders are a hard one to balance, because it's like, right, if you want to be raiders, if you want to be a dick, that's fine. I have no problem with a raiding faction. But it's like, how do we balance this? Because A, they can't just nuke shit. They just can't fucking nuke shit. In fact, I would say that they can't even like get a pickaxe and pickaxe your shit to death because, again, you worked on that fucking building. If they can come through your force field, then they should only be able to engage with any turrets that you have built or any kind of automated defenses, which they can destroy. And then
they can engage in combat with defenses. They can engage in combat with other people, and they and raid. They cannot engage in the destruction of non-combat buildings and non-combat structures.
Yeah, but even then, it then comes to what level of raiding is sufficient. Because let's just say you are offline. So, like, you don't have a chance to get into the game to defend yourself. So, your safe could easily be cracked via a lockpick or a lockpick destruction. If that's the safe that's got all of your diamonds and precious resources in, you're going to feel like shit. Where if it's just building materials, you're going to feel not too bad. So, it's like, to what degree can people steal shit?
There has to be offline protection. You wanna raid? You raid them when they are on.
And even then, it also comes to what level of online is satisfactory. Because, again, let's just say that you have spent your time to go and get a fairly decent gun. Like, we're talking a Fat Man or whatever it is, like a mini nuke. Or you have spent the time and resources. How much of Fallout 4 did you play?
Not much, but I know plenty of it.
Right, you know like how you upgrade your guns, like you find shit in the world and you can make your gun better.
Yeah, you can tear up the guns, you can make them better.
Yeah, so let's just say
stuff.
you've spent all your time and resources getting like a tier 5 gun. Well, should they be allowed to raid that tier 5 gun off your body? And that's so much scavenging for rare resources and so much work gone.
Yes?
So,
Yes?
you see, I don't think so.
No, but that's the point. If you go all out of your way to get a tier 5 gun, and there is raiding in the game, you should expect, and if people get wind, if people know that, if the raiding faction know that you have that gun, you fucking should expect them to be aiming for that gun. That's going to be the prize for the raid because of how hard it's going to be to make. That's going to be the prize, which that means that either A, you have the means to defend that gun, or B, you have a fucking place to hide it.
But you'll want to take the gun out with you to kill the high level monsters. So,
yes, to kill the high level monsters, sure.
So people can just
To
camp
use
out...
it during a raid where I risk myself getting killed?
No. People can camp outside your base. Like, they'll just wait for you to go on a monster hunt and then they'll shoot you and take it. Like, again, there's all these factors to consider, and it's like, well, I wasn't even looking for a fight with raiders, and now that's like, again, 50, 60, 70 hours of getting that gun from tier 1 to tier 5 gone.
Oh, well, then we're talking about a second type of raiding, which is raiding outside your bases. PvP. If there's going to be PvP outside the bases, you need to be prepared for it, yes, but also there have to be limitations. There has to be places where PvP cannot happen.
No, but again, I'd be fine with PvP happening across the map, but it's like, what can
non-lootable.
What can they steal from your body? Like,
if it's just PvP outside of a base where there is would not be qualified as a base raid, then they cannot loot.
Possibly, but I mean, like, again, I'd be fine with it if it's a half measure. Like, if you say, oh well, you can raid, but you know, it's only going to be building materials, like to tear up your own guns, like screws and plastic, and then maybe like some ammo or whatever. that'd be fine, but if they were just going to be like, we're just going to camp so we can just steal the tier 5 gun and tier 5 armor, like, nah, I don't think that should be the case.
Then let's do it like this. You can loot resources. You cannot loot equipment.
I mean, that'd be fair, because you can't even do that in regular games. When you kill an NPC, you can't take their shit.
Yeah, you can take some resources that they may have had or something that becomes available. But you cannot take their weapons, their armor, stuff. So that would be fair. If I kill you outside of PvP, then I cannot loot your equipment. If you were carrying a very strong gun or stuff like that, I cannot take it. If you had that gun in your locker, maybe I can take it. If I can crack the locker open.
But, yeah.
I mean, if you are going to be crafting high-end weapon, and the game allows base raiding and stuff like that, then for sure some of those may get stolen if there's a successful raid.
We see
but
that
only those that are stored away.
The thing
if you are carrying the best ones, those cannot be stolen.
You see, that comes back to the thing about offline protection. If you're gonna despawn, you would just keep all your best shit on you and despawn when you're offline so they can't raid the good shit.
Yes. It's a matter of protection. It still allows the raiders to attack when you are not done, but they cannot get your best stuff. If they want your best, they need to raid you when you are here. And even then, they need to catch you when you have your best stuff stored.
Yeah.
So raiding needs to be hard. It's not to make it easy for the raiders, it's to make it easy for those that are defending them.
And it's like, we're coming up with all these ideas, but I just don't know if Bethesda is capable of doing that.
It's not that they are not capable. It's that they most likely won't.
Yeah, and that's what worries me.
So the game, this Fallout 76 has potential to be a great game, but at the same time, Bethesda has all the potential to screw it up and make it so that nobody wants to ever buy a Bethesda game again.
I mean, certainly
At
not.
least not one that looks like that offers those possibilities, because it's going to be badly done.
Yeah.
So Bethesda has a lot to lose, but they have a lot to win if they do it right. But that's the problem. Will they?
Will
And
they
as
do
you
it?
say, a lot of people are worried they won't. Especially since, as you said, the launch code was not in the beta.
Yeah, from the whole launch thing, they got to sit there and watch a Bethesda employee launch the code at a specific area to see the high-level changes take place.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that Bethesda employee is not a dick.
Yeah, exactly. And while you might get lucky and find a server with nobody trying to be a complete asshole, chances are, even if it's just 50 people per server, one of them is going to play the asshole.
Yeah.
There will always be a good chance for that, because it's video games. It's where we try to pretend to be someone else. It's where we try to hide away from our boring lives. It's where people like to be assholes because there is no consequence in games. I can kill you and nothing bad happens. You're not actually dead. You just respawn. All of that's just dumb. But that's how people think.
Got too greedy.
But yeah, I think that about covers it for Bethesda's bullshit.